Next Tuesday, the Hacks and Hijinx limited time game mode will be added to the arcade in Overwatch, and there might actually be more going on here. Let's have a look. When Season 17 of Overwatch 2 went live, the patch note for that update also included some info that was not very relevant at that point. See, they added all the info for the Hacks and Hijinx event, which isn't going to be added to the game till next Tuesday. But it does give us a good idea on what we can expect. I do think, however, that this game mode is more than just a limited time event. But more about that later in the video. First, let me explain what it actually is. Between July 15th and July 28th, Hacks and Hijinx is going to be available in the arcade and Overwatch. It's a variation on Control, played on the Control maps, 6 versus 6, and every round there's going to be a new game-changing modifier that will be active. So basically in a match you potentially can have 3 very different rounds. And these are the possible modifiers that they plan to add. Mini maxing. All heroes are 50% smaller, health reduced 30%. That is going to be a challenging one. I mean, 50% is quite a lot. If you remember, they actually shrunk Bastion with 10% as a buff. So he is slightly more difficult to hit. 50% is going to make it near impossible for me personally and very difficult for all other players to hit any target. The good thing is, the health will also be reduced, so you only need to hit him once. We'll say, lie low. Heroes become invisible while crouching. However, their invisibility can still be detected at a short distance, and the hero stops being invisible when they have received damage or attacks. So basically, it's stealth unless people are really close to you or you start shooting or taking damage. That is going to be a pain in the ass. Pardon my French. You'll just have 6 Sombras on the other team. Can you imagine suddenly seeing a huge-ass Reinhardt appearing in front of you as he comes out of stealth? Good luck. Fired up. Onfire heroes have decreased cooldowns and deal more damage or healing, but they're also visible by everyone. So basically, the better you play, the stronger you'll be. That's it. On the other hand, you'll also be more vulnerable because everybody will see you. You'll basically have a huge kind of arrow on top of you, and any good team will know that they have to focus you down. Now, don't think that literally. There's not going to be an arrow. You just get that same thing Sombra has, but you get my point. Charge pack. Health packs also grant ultimate charge. Now that can be a scary one in some cases. There are definitely some heroes in the roster that you don't want them to get the ult too fast. It also means that people are going to be roaming around looking for those ultimate charge packs. People will actively try and find health packs again, which is going to make all of the supports' lives a little easier, but yeah, try getting everybody to group up. Power punch. Quick melee attacks knock back enemies. I kind of like that one a lot. I mean, especially because I play a lot of support lately, just any hero being able to do the snap kick like Zenyatta does, yeah, should be fun. The next one is interesting. Vampiric Healing. Heroes do not passively regenerate HP, but each hero has the Vampiric passive. They don't explain what the Vampiric passive is, but the more damage you do, the more you'll heal yourself, basically. It's kind of like we see in the Stadium. Same thing. So you'll actively have to do damage to heal yourself. Yeah, for some support players that is going to be tricky. There are a few support players that don't have an easy time healing themselves, so they'll be forced to do more damage. Aerial combat. Heroes deal and receive 50% more damage while in the air. The gravity at that point is decreased. It's low gravity, but not. I don't think the changes to the gravity will be as extensive as they are in low gravity. At least I hope not, because we're going to get really nauseous. But once you are in the air, you're going to receive and do 50% more damage. It kind of reminds me of the early days of a Horizon Lunar Colony, when we found out that there was lower gravity on that one part outside. In those first few weeks, everybody tended to kind of get out there and started shooting each other. Later on, that actually happened less and less, to a point where almost nobody went out except for the occasional Sombra that would use those doors to kind of sneak around. Back in action. Respawn time decreased. Does not apply during overtime. That is something that they tested before in what did they used to call them? The experimental cards. At some point they tried shorter respawn timers, and to be fair, I like that quite a lot. The problem that kind of causes though is that people do not group up anymore. So if you have that one soldier or Genji that just always is running off by himself, there's no stopping them. Berserkers. Heroes do not passively regenerate HP. For each 10% of the total HP lost, increases attack speed by 6% and reduces the cooldowns by 6%. Okay, so you won't be able to heal yourself, but the lower you go on your health, the faster you'll be and the faster your cooldowns are going to kind of reset. I presume if you get healed by support, that buff is going to disappear. Otherwise, it could stack up really highly. If you have really good supports, yeah, we'll see. Super jump. Heroes jump 200% higher. It's kind of like low gravity without low gravity, I guess. Like a huge battlefield filled with bunny rabbits. Good luck shooting them. Motion detection. Moving enemies within 25 meters are visible through walls. Crouching enemies remain invisible. So basically you get the Sombra thing at all times as long as they are within 25 meters unless they're crouched. What I'm kind of imagining we're going to see is just a queue of people crouching, sneaking around, trying to stay undetected and get to the point. That's what I'm imagining we're going to see. Or people are completely going to ignore it and go like, whatever, they can see me, let's go. Until they have a widow, of course. That is going to be funny. That is going to be a funny modifier. Explosive. Heroes explode on death, dealing damage to all nearby heroes. The Junkrat effect. Oh boy. I mean, it has been a while since I died to a Junkrat corpse, but it still happens. I still see other people dying to it. And if that happens with all heroes, oh god. There are going to be some heroes like Genji or Reinhardt that are going to take a lot of damage every time they kill someone. Hyperspeed. Movement speed is increased by 20% for all heroes. Yeah, that sounds like fun. Everybody will be moving faster, just like you have a Lucio on your team, basically. Buff Hunt. Every minute, one hero has increased HP, deals more damage, and generates ult charge faster. Eliminate the buffed hero to gain the buff. That's like Bounty Hunter, that limited time game mode that is in the arcade sometimes. Now, if I remember it correctly, it's not the most popular game mode. I think some people like it, but overall. So it's kind of interesting that they're adding it almost completely in there. I think the numbers might be slightly different, we'll see. But yeah, basically you need to find the bounty. But the difference is, of course, that you'll have the general objective still active, so. Damage pack. Health packs also increase damage dealt by 20% for 10 to 20 seconds, or until death. So I guess the smaller packs will be 10 to 20 seconds, and the bigger packs will be until death. It's the same thing, we're going to see people kind of chasing down the health packs, trying to steal them from each other, not for the health, but to get that buff. And to be fair, it's going to be pretty easy to get that buff going, and 20% is substantial. You might even be throwing if you don't get yourself one of those packs. It's a nice way of giving a bit of extra value to the health packs, especially in this day and age where there's a lot of passive healing going on, and the supports are very strong. But anyways, the last one is called Fallen Comrade. Heroes drop off a globe undead that increases damage, armor, and movement speed when picked up by a teammate. It's kind of like the Life Reaver perk, but then with very different statistics to benefit from the death of a fellow teammate. It also doesn't really give an idea on how long that buff is going to last. So I'm thinking it might stick around till you die yourself. I don't know. Are there people that are going to let their teammates die just to get the buff? Or are we just going for a situation where we make lemonades out of the limes? Yeah, I'm thinking that it's going to be the first scenario. It's Overwatch. Come on. But yeah, this promises to be very interesting. It is definitely very different from an April Fool's card, for instance, where that mayhem is always centered on certain heroes, which, in a way, you can escape by switching heroes yourself or by just staying away from certain heroes. In this case, the mayhem is tied into the actual game, in the round. There's no getting away. On the other hand, it is a fun way to spice up the game. I mean, it adds something different. I'm not sure how this is going to work out, and I don't think Blizzard is sure on how this is going to work out. That is exactly why they're doing this limited time game mode. And I'm not saying that they're contemplating adding this as a permanent mode at some point, but I do think they're using it as a vehicle to test certain stuff. Maybe the concept of modifiers or certain of these modifiers that I just listed, like the faster respawn, for instance. They tried that before. Maybe they want to give it another try with some other parameters. The whole idea of the multifunctional health packs, because after they added the passive, health packs have become a little more less relevant than they used to be in Overwatch 1. How can we make them relevant again? And then you have the whole Vampiric Healing, which actually takes that whole passive heal and turns it upside down. You basically need to earn that self-heal. So there's a lot of interesting elements going on there, but I don't want to draw any conclusions just yet. We're going to give it a try next week, and then I'm going to come back with another video on this topic where we're going to see what they're actually up to and which ones might work if they should decide to add them. So make sure to subscribe. Now, tell me, are you looking forward to playing Hacks and Hijinx? Let me know in the comments. For now, however, that was it. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. It always helps me out. I also want to thank my patrons and YouTube members. You too can become a member over on patreon.com/theomnicpost and right here on YouTube to unlock exclusive rewards. If you have a few minutes left, maybe check out one of my other videos. But above all, take care of yourself, take care of each other. Bye bye.